Hello everyone, my name is Nick Harrison with Rocky River Woodworks, and today I'm going to be giving you my tool review on the Delta 36 725 table saw. All right, so in this review, I'm gonna try to not talk about Delta should have done this or should have done that. I'm gonna just try as hard as I can to review it as is. The first thing, so I've had 3 table saws now. This is the best one I've had of the 3. Before this, I had the Craftsman, an older model Craftsman, the 113 series model. Great table saw, it was old and it was time to upgrade. So the first thing I noticed about this is that it's heavy duty. So it is a residential contractor saw. I bought this at Lowe's, and at the time that I bought it, it was around $550. That probably varies depending on when you bought it, where you bought it, stuff like that. But that's where I bought this. That does have a cast iron tabletop that I believe is 20 inches by 27 inches, and then it has the stamped metal, if you will, the wings on the side here. It does feel heavy duty. It seems to have some weight to it, which is one of the things that I really love about this. It stays put, and all that extra weight helps it stay put and not move around when you're working on it. So the next thing that I really like about this table saw is the fence. So since I bought mine new, there was a lot of assembly required as far as putting the saw on the stand, the wheels, the feet, the wings, and then the fence and rail system. But if you take the time and do it correctly, it is well worth it. So you see how I just moved that and it's not perfectly square? That's okay, because once I move it to where I need it and I line it up and I clamp this down, it pulls it square to the table. If you don't like that, even that little bit of movement, that's okay too, because Delta on this saw, on this T-square fence system, has 4, 2 on the top and 2 down on the insides here, adjustments where you can adjust it to keep that wiggle out of it. For me, I don't mind it. I think it does fine. So back to the fence in general, what I really like is that it slides really well. As long as everything's done, assembled correctly, it slides really well. The accuracy is perfect. So again, there is some assembly and setup, but once you line up your blade, you set your gauge over here, the measuring tape, the adhesive back measuring tape on here, get your rail set up where it needs to be. That's not super hard to calibrate, and that's another good thing I like about this saw is the adhesive already is put onto the rail when you take it out of the box. You don't have to align very many screw holes either. As long as you follow the instructions and screw it to the rail, it almost lines up perfectly. There are fine-tuning adjustments here where you can slide your line gauge to get it dialed in perfectly. But like I said, it does pretty good as is. With the fence, I also like that it slides really well. I think I might have mentioned that already. I like that it locks in. It's very secure. It is a durable fence. It's solid. It has width to it instead of just a single fence like the old Craftsman table saws did. So it doesn't twist and warp and bend. Awesome fence. I even had this fence on my old table saw trying to upgrade before I sold that saw. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the dust collection on this saw. It is good, not great. What I will say is that if you do not use dust collection or at all, and you're just using the saw cutting, there's dust everywhere. If you use the dust collection, there's only dust in some places. So it does come with a dust collection system attached to it. What I do like about it is that the shroud for the dust collection wraps almost all the way around the blade. So even if something falls, it goes into there and goes out the chute. It comes with a 2.5-inch port for dust collection on the back, which also moves as you use the miter, use the tilt on the bevel on the saw. That dust port will move. So it is good, not great. What I did as an upgrade, which has helped 100%, is add a dust hood to the bottom of the table saw with a 5-inch dust port going out the bottom. That way anything that is not caught in this shroud falls down, gets caught in that dust hood, and goes out the bottom. So again, the dust collection is good, not great, but with a small upgrade, it is very good. The next thing I want to talk about is the throat plate. So this is awesome. It has, it's not like a zero clearance plate or anything. It's just the one that comes with it. It is solid metal, not cast iron, but it's also not stamped aluminum either. So or stamped sheet metal, but it is, it's pretty good. It locks in place. It holds securely where it needs to be. There's also fine tuning adjustments that you can, adjust on all four corners to level it and get it flush to the tabletop surface. It has this unpainted area of exposed metal. That is if you use the anti-kickback plates or the hood, I can't think of the name of it. I don't use it, but the plastic pieces that go on there, they rest on that. The next feature of this saw that I enjoy is that it is, considering how big this saw is and what it can do, it is very quiet. It is a saw, it does make noise, but it is very quiet compared to some other saws that I've worked with and that I've seen. It doesn't rattle. You don't hear metal rattling. There's no, vibrating going on outside of just the normal, what you would expect when using a table saw. So it is quiet considering what it can do. Even though it is quiet, it does not bog down. So I've ran dense wood through here, really hard wood, different exotic woods and stuff, with varying thicknesses, some of them up to 2.5 inches thick, and it does not bog down whatsoever, unless you're just trying to go too fast, which you probably shouldn't be doing in the first place. But if you're using it like normal, like you should be, it does not bog down, which is, again, very awesome, just because the saw that I came from bogged down almost every use. On the side of the table saw, it has two wheels that raise with a foot pedal, and then the other side, the side with the foot pedal just has 2 feet, and the other side has 2 wheels. The foot under the pedal on the one side, there is a wheel just to use as a pivot. It takes very little effort to push down that pedal and raise this saw. Once it is raised, it rolls smoothly. Is awesome, again, if you're in a mobile shop or even, you just want to be able to move it without scraping it across the floor. Perfect feature. I do like that it has adjustable feet, so that if you need to fine tune it to get it level or to match up with your outfeed table or whatever you're trying to do, it moves very freely. Another thing that I like about this saw is that it does have a lot of fine tuning adjustments. There's fine tuning adjustments in the throat plate to get that level. There's fine tuning adjustments on the fence, the rail system, the line gauge on the fence, the feet, the wheels. There's a lot of fine tuning adjustments able to be done that, again, is nice to where you can tune it in exactly how you want it and how you want it to be safe and useful in your shop. The last feature I'd like to mention that I do like about this is that the on and off switch is on the far left side of the rail system. And I say that because my old saw and some other saws have it on the left side, but almost center with the saw. This one is all the way over here. I like that because if I'm cutting down a full sheet of plywood and I'm resting against the fence and I have to reach under the plywood, I like to be able to reach it here instead of basically crawling under the plywood to get the switch there. So I do like that it's here. It's a decent size on and off switch, so all you have to do is bump it to turn it off, which is awesome for safety. But that's a feature that I like. One thing with this saw, it is capable of running 220, 240, 220. With the modification upgrade, I don't have a need for that right now. It's doing just fine running on 110, and I have not tried dado blades in it yet. I do have a dado set that I use all the time, but believe it or not, I haven't had a need for them since I've had this saw. I'm sure it does fine. Again, it has a lot of power. Overall, a great saw. It is a little pricey, but it's not pricey compared to the other saws on the market. If you went with something bigger or more professional version, it's going to cost you more than this one. But if you're a beginner starting out, a table saw is very versatile. It can do a lot of things with the miter gauge. You can get, I made another video, which I will link up in the corner, of making a table saw sled. The table saw can do everything your miter saw can do and more. So if you're a beginner starting out, I recommend saving your pennies, getting a nice saw. This is one that I would recommend. Delta makes a very good product. With the table saw accessories that are compatible with this, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I did mention the table saw sled, which again, I will leave a link down in the description. I've also made a table saw's push stick, which is not necessarily just compatible with this, but it's compatible with any table saw. Just good for safety to keep your hands out of the way if you're ripping down material. I'll have a link to this template and the video in the video description on how to make that and the template for tracing out to make that. Overall, a great saw. If you have any questions or disagree with anything, I'd love to talk about it. You can find me online at rockyriverwoodworks.com, and I will leave a link to all my social media down in the description as well. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and would love to talk to you if you have a difference of opinion or anything that you think I might have missed or anything you'd like to add. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up the video to like it on YouTube, leave a comment, and subscribe. When you subscribe, be sure to hit the bell icon so you get notified of all my future videos. That's all for this video. I'm Nick Harrison with Rocky River Woodworks. Thank you for watching.